Hey everyone, welcome to the 6th episode of Bus Stop, our weekly stop along the way to recap everything that happened in the previous episode of Incubus. Great episode. We have 2 left after this. Yep. There was a lot of knowledge drop in this episode, lots of tasty bits. I would love for you guys to go through that a little bit and even kind of work it out in your brain a little bit. Again, love the fly on the wall who knows a lot about the story, obviously the entire story.
A lot or
no, because
what percentage, dude?
60-40 DMs make 40% of it on the fly. So there's a lot.
Oh, it's always supposed to be 40?
Yeah. Maybe the other way around, maybe 60 the other way. Okay. But anyways, yeah. What's some of the knowledge that was dropped in this episode that you think is first of all interesting, and second of all, just key to the story that is unfolding?
Oh man, so do you want to go first?
I mean, just the way that these things are pieced together. I mean, like Dara seeing just that flesh suit on part of a Warforged, and I think Kassidy was picking up on how actually maybe this bishop Dara was speaking to was disturbed, but Dara rolled 2 nat 1s. Yeah. So I think Dara is maybe just a little, maybe clueless even. I mean, they're nat 1s. So, just really trying to piece together, okay, what's happening. And I mean, Hellbent being missing. And if they're trying to perfect this Frankenstein, so to speak. Seeing that Hellbent is maybe that like final form in a way.
Oh, so you
that's Kassidy's guess.
Yeah. So how does Hellbent, in your opinion, work into it? Like fit?
Just like the power that she has with like the magical tattoos that she's able to do, and throwing it all the way back to an earlier episode where they're like, oh, the distraction worked, and Hellbent is clearly a very valuable person if she is like, they're going to distract a whole party of people to be able to kidnap her. That's what I think.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think there'll be some kind of like this dragon mark of death or some kind of thing that she'll be able to do that will involve Magvar and this big machine and humans taking over the Warforged to do something with it that we just don't know what it is and what it is. It's this big ending, this big bad destructive thing they're trying to do. I don't think Incubus knows really what it is yet, but yeah, I think there's definitely this big collision of all these major properties coming together, and they're now lining up.
Yeah.
I just now realized that maybe the distraction, like if we thought that they were going after Hellbent, but like all of these people have been trying to capture Magvar, and so now I'm a little bit worried that the distraction was to alienate Magvar from Hellbent, and I think now I'm maybe wondering, like, if that was the case, how much was Hellbent protecting Magvar, like by being in like the interdimensional space of like the Incubus, and like as it's going, like, or if that's the direction, I think we're also worried that like maybe Hellbent has something to do with what's going on, or like maybe if she was perfecting the process, like is she the reason that these creations are like working right now, and like do we have to, is it better that they're working right, or is it like, is her involvement just really, does that pollute everything that we know about, like where we fit in with everything?
Yeah. That has me thinking, did Hellbent willingly go with those people? And, did Hellbent kill Ulcus? No, because we saw that in the goggles.
Right.
But
thankfully, we don't have to worry about that.
Those goggles are coming clutch.
I'm glad they went out.
Tough to totally know everyone's motive right now, but I think for us, we definitely like have our one agenda, regardless of what they're all doing, that we're like in it together and try to keep Magvar safe,
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried too that like the only thread that we seem to have between like where Hellbent is this like sort of leapfrogging as we like chase these Warforged, and maybe we killed them. Like I don't even know if those were the Warforged that we were looking for, but like
Don't you?
Yeah, right.
was
I
waiting
didn't
for
mean
the
to do
wife.
that. I didn't mean to do that.
Everyone
But,
resist,
like-
resist.
Is are we just like chasing just different breadcrumbs? And if like if they
Yeah.
if they distracted us before, like are they just opening their arms so that they can close the gates? You know, like when the door closed behind us, like in the dark, was that like?
I don't know, man. I don't know about you guys, but my memory's pretty good. I don't forget certain words, and I think there might be other elements maybe that didn't seem as poignant at the time, that just kind of slipped through the cracks. And if you're watching and paying attention like I am, maybe you caught that or not. But
Dude, say it, because I didn't catch it.
That thing that Drillidus said, where
100%.
Hellbent's
Yeah,
been
I know.
gone for a long time.
No. When I was gonna say when Mickey was with the Indigo, he mentioned about the light, that message of light being with you.
Yeah.
He said that more than once. In fact, he said that was the last thing he said to me when I walked out the door. And he was the last one in there when we left.
Oh.
Wait, what? Wait.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Indigo
Yeah.
said, "May the light bless you," several times.
How are you and I the ones that got that?
It's like right there.
I thought
and
I was
I'm
the,
reading
I thought I was
it.
a dick
I
joke
look
guy.
at
Why
that.
Oh, guy.
Why you paying
Man.
attention over here?
Chad and Jason are just like,
yeah.
yeah.
Holding this team together.
We're like,
Mickey and I.
whoa. Yeah, but I mean,
remember
to
that
not
Yokai
meta
tattoo?
it, I don't think Dara
Yeah.
knows. I don't think
Yeah,
Dara
he's seen his
knows.
butt tattoo.
Yeah, that's right. And he
Yeah,
had
to be
He
fair.
came in there for something totally obnoxious and wrong and silly.
he
Yeah,
had the
there's a-
spell tattoo.
there's a
Did
lot-
he know that it
There's
was?
a lot.
Wait.
There's a lot of paper thin veneer to everything having to do with that whole experience that we think we know.
I don't know if I want to reveal this right now.
Don't.
Should we? Can we keep talking about
That's
this?
what this is for.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, but he also was talking about how he had perfected his body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, was he
yeah.
a GD Warforged?
Dude? The writing's on the wall.
We're slow on the pickup.
The writing's on the wall. The writing
tell
is
you-
the writing's literally on the wall,
A
Kelly.
flaw of Kassidy's is that I am very slow to pick up. It like whatever the ending is will be a surprise for me. Like it always is, because that's just, and it's great. I love that about me a little bit, that I am a little slower to pick up some things, because then when it happens, I'm like, and it's just that much better, honestly.
Yeah, I think we're just
Dude, I'm
so
sweaty.
all invested right now that no matter what happens, it's gonna just absolutely blow our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
What do you guys think? This was obviously you were in this beat just for a little bit of getting to see just a portion of this town. What was your thoughts on Anthropia? Of what is it exactly, and what do you think its interaction is, and how did you enjoy that interaction in that town or encampment?
It's very revealing, I guess. The interactions, I guess.
Yeah.
But man, the fact that it's just like one big old warforge, like smack dab in the middle of this encampment.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I mean, it's the same thing we were talking about last recap, that it's just like that melding of like the weird sci-fi, the weird body horror, and like all the different layers leading up to something like this is like you were saying, like if we had more time to sit and like just explore every inch of this, I would go through it with a magnifying glass.
For sure. Oh
Totally.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I bet you will, watching it back.
Probably so now.
Yeah, now I'm like, how did I
Kidding.
not know?
As for a little Easter egg that will never be revealed on the show, Anthropia means the experimentation and the scientific knowledge of humans.
Right.
I was just gonna say the
Yeah,
name
no,
seems to be
yeah.
revealing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Makes sense. I guess anatomy is the study of that, right?
I was distracted by like Indigo's just like ass the entire time. I think there
Couldn't
was
see
like
past it.
I literally lost the like light bless you, and I was just still on the like, oh, he's just like, you know,
Wearing a sock.
crystalline and beautiful and wearing a sock. Like
Yeah.
that actually went over my head.
The sock?
No,
Oh.
no, not the sock.
Yeah.
Where emotionally your characters have gone through quite the, I mean, it was great and fun and fluffy and light at the beginning, and then there was obviously great pain and sorrow from losing Hellbent and losing the Incubus, and then things have kind of evolved since then, and now there's a bit of a drive there. Checking in on each character, and we'll go around, and that's how we'll end the episode. Checking on each character and how your character's feeling, and then also how you as a player is feeling. emotionally kind of at this stage of the adventure? Let's start over here with Mickey. Andy.
I mean, I think Mickey. I'll start with Mickey. Mickey, I think, is feeling a little bit more himself again, but I think he's also like sharing that like being riddled with confusion and confliction about what he knows and what he knows is his reality. So I think he's kind of finding this new balance of maybe like what's more of like an independent him outside of Hellbent, maybe.
Yeah, and is he torn too with the decisions facing, like we talked about it during the episode, or you guys talked about it during the episode, about like, do we save them, do we kill them, how do we do this?
Totally.
Their experiments, are they better off dead, are they better off alive?
Yeah, I think Mickey definitely like even throughout the play too, I've like kind of want to see like how he responds, and I think when he hears something that makes a lot of sense, well, like Dara says it or Magvar says it, like, you know, he's kind of person where if he's like kind of like me, when I hear something that makes sense, like I roll with it. I'm not afraid to like take on new knowledge. Like I want to take on what I think is the best decision. So, you know, when he hears something that inspires him, he kind of just like rolls with that. That's just like that's what he does, you know. He's a loaded pin, and I think when we get closer to what's going on, he's definitely going to be looking for his friends to kind of help fill those gaps, because, you know, besides Hellbent, like he really hasn't had a lot of like moral guidance or life experience. He's pretty much just like lived on the bus. Like he doesn't really know, you know, what it's like. He's right now kind of discerning himself, like what is, we were talking about alignment and stuff, like what is it to be like good, like who is Mickey, like what really motivates him, like how much does he care about like doing the right thing. And for him, he's so personal. I think it's just like a lot about that. So I'm trying to take up too much talk space, but yeah.
Sure.
Well, out of all the people in the party and the way Mickey holds himself, you saying that one makes sense, but when you watch him, especially in the beginning, you would never guess it, because he kind of holds himself in this like almost confident demeanor.
Yeah, and that's his element, right? Like he's in his element. Like when you get him at the tattoo shop, it's like when you go see a tattooer, right? Like how meek do you feel when you first meet a tattooer first time? Like it's a scary place, like you don't know anything about them, and it feels intimidating, you know. And I think Mickey kind of like a lot of tattooers, like, not that he takes advantage of that, but that's his comfort zone. Like he just feels super confident, comfortable there because like he is, you know.
Yeah. Cool. Beth.
I think I'm definitely sharing in that confusion of like trying to piece things together, because like that's where I usually shine, is like putting together little clues, but this is so outside of like I think Yokai's wheelhouse, and also like having never played Eberron before, like same thing, I'm along for the ride, you know. Like sometimes I try not to piece it together too hard, because you kind of want that little surprise at the end, you know. Like when I watch like a horror movie or something, I kind of pick up clues, but I'm not like actively trying to figure it out the whole time, because then I don't enjoy it quite as much, and then I'm not surprised by the thing, you know. So I'm trying to like kind of keep the balance with like my character and myself of like figuring out enough so I don't feel left behind, but also not like trying to overthink it and like stay up late at night and figure out theories, because then it's not gonna be fun when we find out. So it's definitely a little bit of a duality on both ends of that.
Sure. Cal.
What was the question specifically?
Emotional.
I have so many things to talk about.
Magvar's emotional state,
and
then Kelly's emotional state, given where they are right now in the adventure.
Right. So I think that one of the more interesting like lines of growth is like, you know, examining Mickey like from the front of it, and all of us, like when we were in the tattoo shop, like we were all in tattooer persona, like, you know, Yokai literally, and I think that's like a really good example for it. And then like when that was stripped away, when that like veneer was gone, and we were all just like a mess and like scrambling around and trying to figure out like how do we take the pieces of ourselves that are no longer covered by that like really thin coating and like make it into something that will work, you know, and will survive together. And I think like we all made characters that are not even fairly, we made loners. We made like very like insular, personal sad boys.
Yeah.
And that was we were so reactive to everything that we were doing in the beginning, like as characters, you know? And together, like as we started to go through those problems and like help each other solve those problems, I think that like we're all sort of escaping the doom of that a little bit, you know, and like realizing that the two, in a very like, you know, in a very adventuring party kind of way, like our tools collectively are more valuable than like than what we were as
Yeah.
as individuals.
Big transformer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think like, I don't know if that's Kelly or Magvar that sees that the
Sure,
most,
it could be
honestly.
both.
There's so much bleed over between
Sure.
like all of our characters, so it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Sure.
I think the stuff about Hellbent is like has me very excited and very worried.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure. Frank.
All right, so this is an interesting one because so far I've been the communicator, the persuader, the person who knows how to spin a situation my direction. And, in most cases like that, there's overlap there. But, like, how do you persuade a toaster? It's one of those things where everyone that I'm speaking to, like, they like, I can't read anything. They tend to run on a script, or they're malfunctioning enough to throw me off in my own conversation. Also, this being brand new to me as far as Eberron goes and everything, I'm just trying where I can, but, it's kind of hard to have a conversation when only one person's really speaking.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess on that note, real quickly, when trying to, build these interactions with these people that are now in a new body, different body, however it is perceived or it comes out, I tried to think of, all right, what would it be if, like, you not Freaky Friday, but you were literally just in a whole new body. Your sensations would be new. Your reality, how you say things would be new. And so when people, I'm colorblind, and when people try to ask me, well, what's your green look like, or what's your red look like, I'm always like, it looks red or it looks green. I've seen it my entire life. So I always ask, how would it feel if you just went colorblind all of a sudden? Like you would be really floored. You wouldn't know how to describe what those colors look like previously. So if you take that down to just like even motor senses, your motor senses are totally different. How do you interact with something that you've never held it like this before? You've never, had these kind of arrangements. Your brain isn't literally not hooked up the same.
Right.
And it makes communication hard. It makes moving hard. And it was, like you said, engaging with you specifically, who's like, has the art of, breaking people down in a vocal sense and trying to learn about them. And now all of a sudden that's kind of out the window because neither of you know how to have that exchange.
Right. Not at all.
So it was really cool, like kind of seeing all of you interact.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cass.
Yeah, I mean, Dara is out for blood. I mean, she is very protective of the Magvar. I think that's very obvious based on just some RP moments.
Yeah.
So to hear people like these Warforged come up and like, oh, you're gonna make a good one, and we're gonna use you, and all this stuff with the shards and figuring out this mystery with Magvar. Dara's feeling very protective, not only of Magvar but also of Hellbent. And
Sure.
as we've talked about, where's that going? And
Yeah.
so Dara is like really just like nip this in the bud, but the bud's already bloomed, honestly. And as myself, Kassidy, I'm just intrigued. I'm really excited to see where it goes and to figure out what the fuck is going on. And just to have all the pieces of the puzzle like inevitably there.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Well, that was episode 6. Episode 7 next week. Tune in. Hope y'all are ready. Very, very excited.
We're not.
We're not.
Spoiler!
Spoiler. All right, y'all. Take care of each other. We love you. We'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Next week.